Yes, here's a motorcycle. One important thing to a motorcycle driver is his seat. He always wants good comfort in driving. But if you notice this motorcycle, it has no seat. So let's go and see what we're going to do about it.
Well, we've been expecting you. And now that you're here, we're going to fix this motorcycle damage here. You see it right there. This material is important. So I'm going to turn it a little bit, so you're going to have to angle things a little bit. You'll notice that this material is a thick and there's a weave material, but at the same time, too, the location, we have to be very careful of that because it could swell. And of course, that logo is something that we certainly want to protect, too. And the best way to do that is usually with masking tape. And a lot of times, just to show you a little painter's trick, sometimes you can take a little of this masking tape, and to make sure it's not too sticky, you can kind of rub it across your legs like so. Of course, you didn't see it, but trust me, I just did it. And it makes it so it doesn't stick quite as much, and then there's no chance it'll tear off that emblem, which is what you don't want. This, of course, here is we're going to use the heat-activated patch here, which is what this looks like. We're going to use this as an underpatch. Now, we could use a top patch, but because of the nature of motorcycles, usually it's better to go with an underpatch. And the HAP is a good choice because by using the HAP, it's thin. Now, we can use the adhesive or non-adhesive. We're going to use with the adhesive side. Now, of course, as always is the case, I forgot to mark it. Here it is. Okay. Usually put a little marking where your center is on your underpatch. Pull this back like so. It's kind of hard to do this with a camera real close to me. It doesn't usually take this long. But you see where that dot is. That dot is crucial because it tells me where the center is, and that's important. Of course, by leveling this out here, we want to make sure. See, the sides here, we're careful. We don't want the outline. And that's why it's important that you use something that's not too thick. You want to get enough where it's moved up here. Okay. I don't usually have this much trouble with an underpatch. Okay, so much for basic vinyl repair 101. What we're going to do here is we look and evaluate the grain pattern. Now, of course, we make little grains, and this is the different numbers depicts the grain pattern. And this one is, we don't want to use a heavy grain pattern, which is what that is. We want to use more something subtle. So I'm going to use number 26. Now, when you go to the website, you're able to see all the different grain patterns, and I'm just going to use just a little bit there. But first of all, let's start off with the preheat there. So I whistle with my little heat gun. And you start off in the center, and of course, like I said before, with motorcycles, you're going to be real careful with the heat. See how the heat kind of travels there, and it all. Now, you see the shiny? When that gets shiny, we're ready for it. Okay. And then we have a choice. We can either use the Bulldog or the Best Friend. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the Best Friend because I think that's going to be all I'm going to need. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to do this repair. This will seem like a basic repair at this stage, but we are going to do something different. We're going to use the rainbow color in a second. But first of all, The best friend is a very thick, heavy paste-like compound, and that's crucial because of the fact that when you make application, you want to basically do it one time. Now, of course, you can see the excess is never good to have, so you want to clean off all the excess that you can and keep the size of the repair down. Sometimes it's good to use a little paper towel too. Now when you heat this, you're going to notice that it will get dull and then it will get shiny. And this might require another application, but I'm going to forego it in view of the... you see right there it starts to run? Even though I got a little sun, you got to be real careful with this. See, and when you stay in the repair area, the heat, when you transfer the sides, it can start to swell. That's why it's crucial when you're doing a vinyl repair on motorcycles. You be very careful, but you also watch the surrounding material, probably more so than the repaired area. And of course, pressing this, I'm trying to keep the press very, very consistent. Now what we have here is called, I don't know if you can see this, this is the rainbow color kit in this box and everything. It comes with a sort of different colors, and of course right now we're going to use just the black for obvious reasons. And we're gonna try not to have to color it. But of course this black that I'm using here looks like it's glossy, and as opposed to this material which is not so glossy. But for the sake of being able to visually see what we have here, this will be quite sufficient. And of course, it's very important that when you get these, you want to make the swirls, you want to make it so there's not so swirls, you want to make it real smooth. This palette knife I'm using right now apparently has some ridges and some glue on it or something, so it's not as smooth as it should be. That usually makes a difference. Now, of course, now as we heat this, got to turn it on here. There, now you can see how the heat's starting to wave. Now I actually have the low setting. This is the smallmouth. We have to be real careful with the heat here because we don't. Now when I did this, I told the man it wasn't going to be perfect, but I honestly felt that it would do real good, and so I always try to give myself that leeway. And he also